Guys, I'm going to go to RHS1. And I'm going to try to go through this quickly as possible.
We're following along at the same time, right?
Yes. So
I hate to ask the stupid question, but what's the password?
I'm going to type it on my screen. That's a
Okay.
capital P, a lowercase a 11, WORD.
Okay. I thought it was something else. All right, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, if you read the Red Hat documentation, I don't follow their setup. You know, when you do the exam, it's not going to be structured like the book is. The book has you run a predetermined lab, and at that point, um, it'll set up the environment a certain way. You do something, then you run another script that erases everything you've just done. Um, the exam will be like this. This is what you'll have on a virtual machine. Back when I took the exam, they didn't have virtual machines, so I guess that is a little bit different. Which I don't know why they're not using containers, but it is what it is. Okay, guys, this is my bash prompt. Is everyone in? I can see all of you guys.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, this is weird. Shanetta and Will, you sat beside each other when you did the Red Hat class.
Yeah, I remember well.
I remember Chanel. Hi, Chanel.
Okay. Okay, so I'm back in. So the $sign means I'm signed in as a non-privileged user. So what's the difference between this command? Doesn't mean super user, it means switch user. So I'm going to sign in as root. I could do it this way. And if I do pwd, present working directory, I'm in student, home directory. I'm going to sign out as root. And I can sign in as with the hyphen. This pretty much means I'm going to sign in with root's profile. Here I'm going to sign in with the profile. I'm going to continue using the profile of the user I'm signed in with, which is student. So it's important to understand the significance of that hyphen. So if I sign in with root without that hyphen, I might not be able to find certain commands that I need because they were part of my environment as root, but student didn't have that path in their environmental variable called path. So be aware of the difference. The other thing is that $sign lets me know I'm a non-privileged user. This hash mark lets me know that I'm a privileged user. I'm signed in um, as the root account. Echo $shell. That lets me know what command interpreter I'm using. There's several command interpreters. Old school sh. This one is bash, which is born again sh. We have the K shell. We have the C shell. Whatever shell you prefer. The common one is the dash. Is bash. I'm going to exit out of here. If I do a list dash dash help, I can get an abbreviated form of help. Some old school commands might have a lowercase, which is something different in this particular command. So Generally, if you're using 2 dashes, you type out the full name. If you use one, you just type out the first letter. A lot of times, commands will support both. Sometimes they'll support one or the other. Old school command will do it this way. Newer commands will do the dash dash. Guys, I'm going to go over and show you how to connect to RHS2. Because remember, um, when they were talking in regards to the exam, they were saying you're going to do it on a remote host. Well, you're going to connect to one machine, and then you're going to SSH to another. And the one you're SSHing to is the one that's going to be graded. So you need to know how to configure the SSH. You know, you might want to review. I don't have keys yet. The folders in the SSH. Um, in the book, they talk about the permissions being 600. We'll go over that again. But if your permissions are too relaxed, your computer won't trust the SSH keys. Okay, this is the quiz. Which term describes the interpreter that executes the command typed as strings? Go ahead and talk.
Shell? Shell? Yeah.
Okay. Um, which term describes a visual cue that indicates that interactive shell is waiting for the user to type a command?
Prompt.
Which term describes the name of a program to run?
Command.
Which term describes a part of a command line that adjusts the behavior of a command?
Argument.
Argument.
What? Oh, options. Options.
Yes, because remember, guys, in Red Hat, in Linux, we call it, sometimes we'll call it an argument, but an argument in Red Hat, like if I say user add dash C, Brian, you know, this is the argument for this option. I know it's, but in Windows we would say argument, but it really isn't. Which term describes a part of a command that specifies the target that the command should be operated on?
Argument.
Yeah, that's an argument.
Which term describes a hardware display and keyboard used to interact with the system?
Physical console.
Which term describes one of multiple logical consoles that can support an independent login session?
Virtual consoles?
Yeah.
Terminal.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, it's visual console.
Hey, y'all making me second guess myself.
Which term describes an interface that provides a display or output for an output in a keyboard for input to a shell session?
Terminal. Or console. Terminal, I think.
Terminal. I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay, I'll try this. Let's see. No, well, I did that last time. It didn't work out well. Okay. Okay.
There's one boy zero.
I didn't
Yay.
I said there's one boy zero.
Okay, so guys, I'm not going to go over the desktop environment. You can read that in the book where everything is located. This is the GNOME. You say the G. So go over that. Some things that we can't use, like the hot corners, because we're in this virtual environment, but you deal with that. Guys, over here on the right, is your different desktops. There's a way to get to different workstations. Um, I don't know how to do that without getting into certain corners, but you can play around with the graphic environment. I don't know it that well, to tell you the truth. Login, shut down, you can do that over here on the right. Okay, you know how to get to the command line. Guys, I'm going to do this and you're going to watch me. I'm going to hit Control Alt F3. It's not allowing me to do it because of this environment. But there's a way to go to switch to different pseudo terminals. And then when you want a pseudo terminal, you can just use the Alt F2, F3, F4. And I think most environments have 1 through 7 with the graphic spawned on 8, or the graphic might be spawned on 1, but one of those will be graphics, the others will be um, terminal. So guys, you go through this book with a fine-tooth comb after we're doing this. Once you're done with this, I'm going to leave these machines here and you can continue to practice. Um, if you want to wipe everything out, you can deactivate and reactivate your lab and you can start clean. Guys, what does this command do?
To change password for a user.
Yeah. If you don't specify a user account name, then it means a current user. If you're root, you can specify another user's name. See, again, this is that special lab environment where you've reset the password and when you're done, it changes it back. Okay, I'm going to move this over to the side and just some basic commands that you just should know. Who am I? Let you know who you're signed in as. What if I wanted to run 2 commands on the same line?
Colon.
Ampersand?
No, colon. Semicolon.
Yes. You can separate this semicolon means at the end of a command. That's like if I had pressed the enter key in between those 2 commands. Someone said ampersand. I'm going to do this gedit. When I run gedit, you see how it keeps my command prompt tied up. So gedit ampersand forces that task in the background, so it frees up my terminal to do something else.
But 2 ampersands also can execute a second command if the first command works.
Only that is a logical operator. Basically, it's not going to do what I was asking. Separate. I want to run 2 commands on the same command line. So if I do this, who was I? Ampersand ampersand date. Well, it didn't run date because this command wasn't successful. So basically, only run the second command if the first command was successful. So who am I? And if that is true, if I get Guys, how do I know if a command executed properly?
Well, you get a display, an output.
Yes, but
Oh,
that is returning the error code.
okay.
So you can always look at the error code. So if the error code for this command was 0, anything else is an error, then go ahead and run the second command. So if you wanted to do something, and then if that was successful, do another command. Like create a directory, then add a file to it. Well, don't add a file to a directory if it didn't succeed. Guys, in your date command, there's a whole bunch of options. You can go play around with that. I'm not going to get into this command too much, but every command has some syntax, and the date syntax is really weird. So if you just want the time, it's, you type in date plus %sign uppercase R. Okay, so I'm going to do file Etsy password. What type of file is that?
The user's account that I install on the system.
That's good. I was looking being vague, but it's just a text file. It's
Oh, okay.
that's what the file command does. It tells you what type of file it is. So I want to do which. Here's a command called IP that we use to configure IP settings and things like that. That's where it's located. So I'm going to do file user sbin IP. And that is a binary file. That's compiled. So here we have a text file, and here you have a binary file. Guys, I did this in 2 steps. First, I located the command, and then I ran it. I ran the file against that file of that program I located. I could have done this. Sorry, file backtick, not a quote, which IP. So basically, it's going to do a double execution. Run which IP. At that point, it'll get this. So it's going to replace this with this. Then tell me what type of file it is. I could have done file and got the same results. So here, if you don't know where a command is, a lot of times you look it up and you're going to do something to that command. Save yourself some time, do it in one step. Either put the backticks, guys, which is under the tilde, mean execute this first, replace this part with the output, and then execute the outer command. And this is the same thing, but I'm kind of doing execute this first, replace this, and then run the outer command. Okay, guys, if I'm starting to go, I'm going to start going fast. You got to be very proactive in stopping me, slowing me down, whatever you need me to do. Okay, so what does this command do?
It outputs the text of a file, cat.
Right. It's really designed to concatenate files, join them together. Guys, what did I do right there to get all this? See, I didn't know what file I wanted to get, so I did tab, and it showed me all the files in the Etsy directory starting with GRO. So if you can't remember the name of the file, you can do tab and it'll show you every file in that directory that starts with that. So I'm going to do these two commands, cat etc password and cat etc group, and it shows me both of the files on my command line. Okay. A bunch of commands will take multiple arguments. Like cat command can take multiple arguments, like make dir, dir1, dir2, dir3. That just created 3 directories. Make dir, squiggly brackets, 4, 5, 6. So here I put a range. Here I put 3 arguments. So this means dir4, dir5, and dir6. We're very used to creating one directory at a time, but you can actually add 3 directories in there. Now, of course, I'm supplying the relative path, meaning it's going to make these directories in my current directory. The head command will show me the first, by default, 10 lines. Or I could do -n and maybe only see 3 lines. Right here I am. Or I could do 20 and see 20 lines. Guys, it doesn't matter if you put the space or not. Tel does the same thing. This will show you the last 3 lines. Head will show you the first 3 lines. Tel will show you the last. By default, it's 10. And the -n will allow you to specify the number. If you don't specify a number, it is 10. Word count. Lines. Word count, how many lines are in a file? That's an L. How many words are in a file? How many characters are in the file? If I put nothing, it'll give me lines, words, and characters. Lines, words, and characters. Tab complete. I honestly, I don't know how I would function on a computer with tab complete. Guys, I can't spell commands. I don't remember the command. I don't remember the name of the files. So I do tab complete. Tab completes will work on the commands and it will work on the arguments or the options for a command.
How long has tab complete existed in the Linux terminals? Because it hasn't always been a thing, right?
I can remember it in the 90s. It might not always have been, but as far as I can remember, it's been there.
So on exams, will we have tab complete?
You will have a real virtual machine that you're dealing with. It's not a simulated machine. So you will have tab complete, but you won't have Google. So be aware of that. So yes, you will have tab complete. You will have the help and things like that. So if I type CAT tab, that'll show me all the commands that start with CAT. What would happen if I hit tab right now? It's not working. Maybe I have to be signed in as root. Let me see. Back in the day, it would say you have 4,025. Back in even Red Hat 7, I thought it would do it. It gave you how many commands you wanted to display. But let me see if I do this. If I type one character now, it'll show me. So I have 135 possible commands that start with C. And when I do that, tab, and I show it, it puts my C back on the screen. So that's where I left off. Now it also completes cat etc pa tab. Well, there's too many files starting with pa to autocomplete. So if I hit tab, it'll show me all the files. So if I hit pas, hit enter, it allows me to autocomplete. Certain commands do this as well. User add. Did someone just drop out? Okay. User add dash um, tab. So you can autocomplete, the options as well. Some
I don't remember, but I don't think the non-graphical interface, like just the command line on Linux, does that have tab complete? Like the TYY, the terminal without the graphical interface?
yes, this is a feature of Bash. So
Okay.
so you'd be running Bash there. So yes, it does. I have a virtual machine we can test it on, but I use it all the time from SSH session. Um, so it has nothing to do with a virtual environment. Okay. Um, really long commands. So I'm going to do cat etc password space. What's the significance of that space? Let me before I go on, I really need you to understand what that space is. What's the significance of that space? Guys, it's a special character that lets Bash know they're in a new part of the command. It knows that meta character is the separator between the command and an option and an argument, or two options. So that is a very important character. So it's being interpreted by the command line. So if I wanted to do this, I need to have that space in between. And this rate at this point, the command interpreter is going to know that's two different files. So let's say I wanted to, this command was too long. If I hit the enter key right now, what does that mean? What's going to happen there? How is Bash going to interpret me pressing the enter key?
It's gonna show you the content of exit password.
It's going to execute that command for me.
Yeah.
So Bash is going to interpret that as execute the command. But what if I do this? What is that character called?
A new line for continuing the command.
It's an escape character.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so, if I do this, user add Brian Ferris, let me do without that.
It simulates a space in a folder directory.
So it's going to give me an error because it doesn't know what this Ferris is, because it's saying, wait a second, I have an argument, but there's no option for that argument. So
Mm-hmm.
I can say interpret the space differently, because normally the space character is a separator. And let's bash know a new option or new argument is coming. So here I'm interpreting it um, as a printable character that's part of the name. Sorry, I get this lag. So if I do this cat command, that's called the escape character. Here I escaped a space, meaning interpret it differently. Normally it's a meta character that separates the arguments in options. When I normally press the enter character, it means execute that command. Now I want to interpret it differently. I want to escape that character. That means carriage return line feed. Return the carriage to the left, go down one line. That's what it means. Or go down one line, return to the left. Now I can do so if I hit the up arrow, it interprets it like that. But what I did was, if I had a really long command, now guys, remember, I don't want to do this. If I did this right now, what would happen?
That path wouldn't exist.
Right, because I have no space. I need to make sure I have my space, like I normally would, hit backslash, then enter. So that those little things that you like, that adding that space there at the end before escape, I'm going to do this. Echo um, something into dir1 file.txt. So I just did absolutely nothing there. Okay, I'm just going to put the word. What am I doing wrong? Did I delete the
You
directory?
don't have the dir one, I think.
Oh,
You
okay.
did it under a student.
Okay. Make dir1. Okay. So I have a directory here, and I have a file in it. It's the little subtle things that'll make your life a lot easier or a lot more difficult. If I did this, which is remove recursive force, what does that do?
It's gonna remove the entire directory one with all the files inside.
It's going to remove
Recursively. Yeah.
Everything inside the directory.
everything
And the directory also.
No.
No?
No. So if I do this,
Okay, it's a kid and show me. See? It's gone.
okay, well, it shouldn't have. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you have to put asterisk if you just want the content. So recreate it, create a file, and then you have to put the asterisk after the slash, and then it will remove only the files inside. Create it and then touch something, you'll see.
Wait, no, yeah, I was almost positive I was right.
Okay, do that. Now this show me the content of dir one.
List dir1.
Okay, so we have one file, and now run your command with the asterisk. So what do you want it to do? Only delete the files inside? Okay.
Let me try to work this out. List tree. Okay, there is dir2 points to
Dir one.
dir1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so rm-rf dir2. It works on a link, but not on the directory itself.
Okay. But what was your intention? To delete only the files inside that directory?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I always done it, and if I just want to delete the files, I put asterisk after the slash, and that will delete all the files and leave the directory empty.
Oh, it only works against links,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't work for. So Yvette is right in the sense that if you do that, it'll delete everything in the directory. That and that are the same. But to a link, that will delete everything. If it was a link, it would delete everything in the directory and leave the directory alone. So I did this, I still had the directory, but I didn't have the file in the directory.
Mm-hmm.
What is this command?
Show you the hierarchy of the files or directories, I think.
And what does this do?
Everything on your current directory.
Right, and the A stands for all, meaning hidden
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, minus, yeah. Hidden. Oh, same like ls, right? You can use it the same way as ls. Minus a for hidden.
Yes, let's see what L does.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll accept all the ls switches and not give you an error. Um, oh, what does the H do?
I think it's human readable. I got
Yeah,
something.
human readable.
Yeah.
Meaning it gives you instead of giving you kilobytes or bytes or something, it'll give you like 25G or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to hear Jorge, Mark. Am I going too fast, Shanetta?
No,
No.
not for me. I'm following along.
Okay, and so you're comprehending what I'm saying and things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a quick question though. Are you guys using labs from a previous class? Like these were already set up from a previous class?
No. Where are you at? Let me go back to you.
Yeah. I'm not quite lost, but I don't have the same directory structure as everyone, I'm pretty sure.
Is this you?
I
Type something.
Oh, like the tree maybe? You're not
Yeah.
getting the tree output?
Yeah, so hold on one moment. Let me go back to
You may have to install it maybe.
I don't know if that's me because that's me.
Baby, come here.
Okay. So
Come here.
So you're here. You were doing the same thing that I was doing, but my current directory is I'm in root. This is on your machine. I'm doing tree of my home directory, which is this. So it's not that I have a different directory structure, but I was doing tree of my home directory, which you see. But if I add this -a, you have more files. Shanetta, everything that starts with a dot is a hidden file or a folder. So if you do tree without the A, you just see just like that.
Got you.
If you do the A, you'll see all the hidden stuff as well.
Okay,
Okay,
got you.
so you just weren't you're in the same place, you had the same directory structure, but you weren't looking at your hidden files. So any switches that you can use for ls will also work for tree, but tree will go down deep into the directories. So
Okay,
this is basically showing me everything in my home directory that tilde represents my home directory.
got you. All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. I keep forgetting who I'm signed in as. History command will show me all my history. If I right now close this out, any commands by just clicking exit, any commands that I created in this session won't be saved. If you want these commands to be saved in your history for future sessions, then you need to make sure you type exit down here to log out properly. So here's all the commands that I ran. If I type bang 83, it will rerun the command 83 or whatever command that you want.
You say you have to type exit for the commands to be saved in the history?
Right. So look, I have tree commands.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that changed.
Okay.
No, I think I still might be right. I think when I click this and it prompted me, it's doing it is saving it. But if you
Okay.
just go and um, in a terminal and kill a terminal session, because what happens is list-al.
In your batch history, yeah. I
Right.
think it just saved the last 1,000, right? Lines.
Right. But look, so I just did this command.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cat bash history. You notice ls isn't there
Mm-hmm.
because this is from my former sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So my current session isn't stored in bash history until I exit properly. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
don't exit your shell properly, it won't save all of your current history into bash history. So you need to make sure you exit your shell right.
Okay. With exit or log out, or it has to be exit?
Yeah. To be sure you want to save your history, type exit and close your shell properly.
Okay.
Guys, I never use these, but let's say I have this big command. I can use Control E to jump to the end, Control A to jump to the beginning, Control U. If I wanted to clear this, everything above my current space, everything to the left. These are in the book. I don't know what chapter this is. It's the end of.
I think it's on the bash chapter.
Yeah. So control to jump and the arrow key to jump around. Guys, does anyone ever use this? Control R.
No.
No, I haven't.
Control R will allow you to search your history commands. So you start typing in, it'll find that command in history. It's pretty cool. I never use it. So it just basically searches your history file for a command that starts with, in what I typed as user. Pretty nice command. Okay, what is this?
Which bash command jumps to the beginning of the previous war on the command line? Control left arrow?
The first one? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't men ever get involved?
I'm telling you, girls are winning.
I think sometimes people just don't want to feel like they're embarrassed if they get the wrong answer.
For me is because I tend to read the questions like 2 or 3 times to make sure I understand the question before I jump to the answer. That's why I think the girls are beating me in this case, because I don't, for some reason, I don't like to just go with my first gut feeling.
You have to hit back, Brian. You have to do it from the yeah.
Are these quizzes in the book as well? That we can take these ourselves?
Yes.
What?
So the test we're going to be taking is all practical, though. It's not quizzes, right? That's what the guys at the beginning said. Or is this a different one they're talking about?
No, they're just seeing if you're doing the reading. There's just a little.
Yeah. This is just like review, but I have a feeling for the actual exam, we're just going to sit in front of a terminal and they're going to ask us to do something, and we're not going to be choosing A, B, or C's. Just like do something.
The one like we labs. Got the value is like a practice exam, right? We're not getting a certificate.
Well, no, you are, well, you're not going to be certified, but you are going to get something that you can list that you've taken the exam and passed it. You can say that you took and passed the PE 124. Down the road.
Yeah, maybe a badge. I think they're calling it a badge these days, and then you can put it on your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, so what was this question again? What was this answer?
The last one. It's the last one now.
Oh, it
moved.
Right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so basically, Jorge is saying that you girls are bullying you. You're not giving men time.
Oh, you were faster.
This just gives me more time.
You're even faster than me, isn't it? The first one.
What was it? Which partial command separate command? The third one. Semicolon.
You are a beast at this. I take it you just took all of Brian's classes.
Oh no, I think I took the class and I was a Linux administrator for a BC for almost 5 years, and then in another company for another 5 years. So.
Can I be your Can you be my mentor?
Yeah, anytime. Okay, which batch code is used to clear characters from the cursor to the end? That will be Control K. No, hold on.
Wouldn't it still be the third one? Because isn't it technically just moving around, or are you talking about directly jumping at it?
Yeah, it's saying
No,
from
it's Control K. You're right the first
Clear
the cursor to the
characters.
end
I've
of the
never used that one.
command.
time. It's Control K.
Control K?
Well, let's go do this. What does the first one do?
The first one is a jump at the beginning of the line, I think, from the shell.
Right. Control left arrow will allow you to go to the next punctuation or space. So if there's a period, it will take you to that period, or if there is a space, it will take you to the next space to your left. So
okay.
So K is it.
Okay, no, you have to do check. Okay. Bang string. The third one.
Yeah, bash string.
Brian, you killed it.
No, I wanted to go and show you the command. Okay, so what's the difference? So when would you use this?
Oh, hold on. Matching the command name. No, it says the command name.
Yeah, but from the string, you would need like a number if you do like a
yeah.
bang.
So yeah, it's that third one, Brian.
It is.
Try it.
I did, but I just did. That's why I didn't make it disappear. I did.
Because I mean, don't you have to do like a history first, and then it gives you all the commands, and then from there you can do
exactly.
bang, and then select the number.
I bet you $20. That is the third one.
Oh snap!
There's money on the table.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, but I just wanted. I'm trying to show you the difference between this and this.
Yeah, because on the other one you had to know the actual. You had to run history first, and you had to know the number and then run it. With the string, you don't need to know the order. You just need to remember the name.
Right. So Jorge was right. For this to work, you had to have run history ahead of time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, you owe me $20.
No, I was agreeing with you. I even showed it to you down here. Look,
Okay.
That's what I was showing you. I was talking, but what I'm doing is, guys, I am not vaping while you're talking. So I put myself on mute and I forget that I'm on mute. So I continue talking. Okay. So
Pressing tab.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, that will be the bank number.
Pressing Control A plus A.
Yeah.
History.
Mm-hmm.
Pressing Control plus Escape or Escape plus.
Yes. Check.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1 second. Is escape plus dot? So it'll be escape dot. What did that do?
No, it says the last argument. So do a command and an argument. Yeah.
Okay. And
there.
And what do you do now?
Okay, press enter.
Okay.
No. Press enter there. And now, okay, so now press escape plus whatever. I think.
Okay, but why would you want to do that? That's what I'm wondering.
Exactly. No, no, no. Because if you have an argument, if you work, I think is if you're working on the same file, which is gonna be your argument, then you don't have to retype. So you can do on the next line, you will do your command and then
Okay.
press escape plus, and then it's
Use.
gonna take you.
So
Can
Brian,
now
you could
do
do
add,
you could
and
do
then
cat Etsy. You could do cat Etsy host, and then if you wanted to edit it, you could do vi and then escape dot.
Okay. Okay.
And then now do vi space escape dot.
Okay.
uh-huh.
You'd have to
There.
do a space,
See?
but yeah.
Okay.
So are you working on the same file, and then you can do different commands? Yeah.
Okay. How can I run the last command again?
Up.
Yeah.
Oh, bang bang.
Oh.
Cool.
Um, okay, guys, here's one of their practice exercises. I'm not going to cover that, because I don't have these pre-configured labs.
I've done it. You don't need to. You can ignore only the scripts, and then you can do it on your.
Yeah.
Because they actually just making you run commands. See.
Okay, so you
Oh
guys,
yeah. So I'm just saying that so they can practice it too for the test.
right?
You don't need their scripts and their whole environment. I done it.
Yeah, remember that setup document? That's what that does. Okay, so back to course. Yeah, if I have it like here, it doesn't show everything. So where are we at? We are.
You were doing the accessing the command. Yeah. So we're going to.
Did we
So
do
you just
this?
finished. Yeah, executing command using the bash shell. Yeah, that was the quiz. Yeah. So we're going to 3.
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to other location and see this computer. It's showing me a slash. That slash is called root. Guys, give me a minute. I need to grab a paper towel. Give me 1 second. Every once in a while, if you vape, you'll learn that these vape pipes will leak juice all over you, and so I just need to get a paper towel. Hold on. Is that you, Eric? Did you just?
Yeah, but it's not about the red hat. It is something
Okay.
else.
So that slash is a little bit confusing if you're looking at it from a Windows world. If I go and show you this computer, and I go to show you the C drive, that's one partition. Disk management. You can see that C drive is one partition. Don't be confused when you see this and think it's one partition. because it's not. I can mount, like, this right here is a different mount than this. So slash in my case, if I do a list slash, this could be multiple partitions. Right now, off the top of my head, I know this is a different partition. This is a different partition. So when we refer to this root, we're going to say it's the top of our file hierarchy. It doesn't mean it's one partition. That's the point I'm trying to make. So this is called root. That is the top of our file system, which could include multiple partitions. Do not confuse this root with this. This is my root's home folder. This always has to be in the same partition as my OS, so I can always sign in. So this is at top of my file system, could be multiple partitions. This is root's home folder. Now, if I cd to root and do a list, I can see my file system. If I do a tree, it shows me everything. If I do a tree without an argument, it shows my current directory. So I do a list dash long. There's my entire file system. CD into home, I'm supplying the absolute path. I'm saying go to the top of the file system, go to a folder called home. If I do a list again, I can see that I have a student directory. Now I'm supplying the relative path. If I do cd home, cd student, it will take me into the student directory. That will only work if I'm in the home directory. If I wanted to supply an absolute path, I would have to do /home /student. That'll be the absolute path. If I do a list, it shows me all the directories in there. If I do a list dash long, it will show me all the directories along with the permissions, any links, dates, things like that. User owner, group owner. List dash AL will show me everything, including hidden files. List dash ALH will show me the same thing, but it'll put these sizes in a human readable format, like gigs or megabytes and things like that. So that might be helpful in certain scenarios. Do you remember when the second guy Tom was talking? In the Red Hat exam, and I don't know, and I'm going to show you this just to be sure. In the Red Hat test, they do a break fix section. They give you a portion of the test, and you have to break and fix it, otherwise you can't get into the system. So from what Tom was saying is, you're not going to know your password. They're not going to give it to you. So the first thing is sign into the system, and they won't give you anything else until you sign in. So you won't see the rest of the exam until you get past that point. Back in the day, they had a file that was so large that you couldn't sign in. So you had to find that file and you had to look at it in human readable format, and they had some big movie file that you actually had to delete. The root, you cannot use more than 95% of your hard disk. 5% of your hard disk is always reserved for root. If the hard disk is full, root can't sign in. So when you get to 95% of your hard disk space, It will say your disk is full, even though you have 5% left, and that 5% is reserved so root can sign in. So I actually had to use that H back in the old days to do break fixes, just to be able to sign in as a normal user account. I could only sign in as root. Now, in your current case, your root password, they're not going to give it to you. That should be on the second exam. It might be on the first one, so I don't know. So I'm going to show you that. But that's in the second book. But I will show it to you before we go. If I do just list, it shows me my current directory. I could do any directory that I wanted by specifying the directory. So just a little bit about navigation. If I do a list-al, that shows me all along. What does this dot represent?
Parent directory? No, I'm sorry, current directory.
Right. So if I do a list dot, that's my current directory. What does the two dots represent?
Parent directory.
Previous directory.
Parent directory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who said previous?
Me.
Eric.
CD ...
It is parent directory, so we don't want to say previous directory because look, what if I go from here to here? What's that previous directory? It's Etsy. So it doesn't mean the previous directory, it means the parent directory.
It'll take you to home.
Right. Guys, I haven't used this command in 20 years, so forgive me if I don't remember it right. Push D. Push D Etsy. CD var pop D. So I pushed a directory into this stack, Etsy, and I was currently in home student. So I pushed Etsy into the stack. So when I do pop D, it popped Etsy off the stack and put me in that. I was in var, and I do pop D. It grabbed the last thing in the stack and put me into it. If I do pop D again, I don't know why it
When will you use this?
you know how you're switching between a bunch of different directories,
Uh-huh.
and you want to be able to just jump back and forth.
Oh, okay.
This is a nice way to do it. So
Okay.
you know, I can do push D, and push all the directories into my stack, and then jump to any item in my stack.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Pop D takes an item off my stack.
Mm.
Or I can take a certain
So I assuming that number is in the order you push it, right?
yes.
Okay.
So push home student. Push, it was already there. Push var. Push Etsy. Push D, plus 3. Oh, I was in that directory already.
Mhm.
Push D plus took me to var.
Okay.
So it's
Oh, okay.
this is
I see it now.
old school Linux and stuff. If you want to pop D push D
Can you show everything that is in the stack, like only by push D? Like, how do you show everything? Oh, there. Yeah.
push D so I guess it's plus 2.
Plus 2 will be bar, right?
No, this is my current directory. 1, 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if I wanted to go to var, what would it be?
Now, hold on. It's gonna be 3.
No, because I'm in Etsy.
Oh, 2.
Right.
Oh, okay,
So if I
okay.
wanted to go to home, and your stack keeps changing.
Yeah. Oh, so the order keeps changing, right? It's not like that. It's not the order that you initially push it.
Right. As soon as
Right.
you jump to a new directory, it shows you the new order.
Oh, okay.
So if you're working like in those Ansible directories and they're, really long,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, we have 10 minutes before the break. So I want to go over this. Okay. Jorge, Shanetta, Michelle, did I lose you with that conversation?
No.
Okay.
I'm okay.
A bit. I mean, I hadn't I never run that push D command before, but you explained it just fine.
Yeah, so it's a good, if you are an old Unix person, that's probably one of your go-to commands. Push D, pop D. The people who probably use that right now are probably in their 70s.
Yeah, because I never used this command before.
Yeah,
And I did Linux administration for over 10 years.
okay, yeah. So, yes, I'm old. That's all I can say. Chris, have you ever seen that command before?
Never in my life.
It's
Didn't even know it existed.
guys, those are the type of commands that really impress the ladies. Let me tell you that. Okay, that's what makes them swoon. So guys, the user directory, all your software, your shared libraries, things like that. The Etsy directory, all configuration files. The var directory, variable data files like your email, your database, your website, any cache files, like if you're joined to an Active Directory domain, how it caches the user accounts, that's when they mean cache directories. That's all going to be in the var directory. Variable data. The run directory will be runtime data for processes. It used to be here, now it's moved into its own run directory. Some programs aren't designed to use that, they still use this. Home directory, all your regular users' um, profiles are stored. Root directory, that is the root's home directory, the root's profile. Temp directory is a world writable space, meaning anyone has permission for that directory. List-al slash, what is that T there?
Sticky bit?
Sticky bit. What is a sticky bit to if it's on a directory?
It gives.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to get it wrong. So yeah, go ahead.
It prevents you from deleting other users' files. So it's like a free for all So you might throw in a cache document from a web page or something in there. And if someone else goes in here, because it is world writable, no one can delete the files that you create temporarily.
Oh, so you can just delete your own files, the one that you created.
Correct.
Okay.
But a lot of hackers, if they gain access to a system, will launch a script from this location.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be careful because who has access to this? Everyone.
Yeah.
Only, but if I go into here, oh, guys, give me a relative path to get to this directory. How can I get here and not use this? I don't want to do this, which is the easy way. How can I get to that directory using the relative path?
CD dot slash dot XC. Temp, sorry.
So go to the parent directory, which will get me to home. Go to the
Yeah.
parent directory, which will get me to slash, then go
And
down
then-
into temp. List-al. Sometimes,
Couldn't you
guys,
just do /temp? Why wouldn't that be easier?
no, because I was here. So if there's no temp in this directory. So CD temp won't work because I don't have temp.
Mhm.
I could do
But if you
CD,
put a slash before temp, it'll take you there.
right. But I was going the road less traveled.
Ah, okay.
I just wanted not an easier way, just I wanted you to emphasize an absolute path versus a relative path. This will only work because I'm in that student directory. So guys, another thing is sometimes when you go to if an application or website, they don't secure something properly, someone else might be able to access your file. Like this is readable by everyone. So you need to be careful about that temp directory. So the boot directory, that is my kernel and my compressed kernel. It's also my grub bootloader. It's my EFI. It's a link to my EFI partition. There's my rescue kernel. These are the small RAM disk. When I boot up, these are mounted in read-only mode. These kernels and file system that will then give me enough of an OS to load my real kernel. So the boot directory has all your boot data, your kernel, your grub information, a link to your EFI partition, things like that.
The system map, what is that? Remind me?
When you compile your kernel, it creates that system map file. I can't remember what it is
Okay.
either.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I did the Red Hat exam, which was Red Hat 3, back in Red Hat 2, they made you compile your own kernels.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in time, they didn't have anything like a repository. If you compile your own kernel, you can't use like Yum and stuff like that because you have a custom kernel. All the
You have to
stuff,
do everything from source, right?
right? We've been down that road before, Yvette. So
Yeah.
we don't
I
want
know.
we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So that's created when you compile your kernel. I forget
Okay.
what it's for. The dev directory is all your device drivers. Okay, your device drivers for your hard disk, your NIC cards, your terminals, everything. Standard error, standard in, things like that. list-al root. Guys, I'm not going to go into this a lot, but there is an agreed upon file system standard that the Linux community comes up with. So when you create a directory, there is a standard set of directories that everyone can expect. Like if you create a binary file, like a program, it needs to be in the bin directory and things like that. Let me see if I get a graphic of the latest. You know, what it's there for. So this is what you must have if you're going to call yourself a Linux OS. You must have a bin directory, essential user commands. Now Red Hat doesn't use the bin directory. Red Hat uses the user bin. They put all the programs in there, then they create a link to the bin directory. So if you look at the Linux file system, it says it has to have a bin directory, but it doesn't mean it has to be a real directory. It could be, what is this? What does that light blue indicate?
It's a link.
It's a link, yeah.
Yeah, it's a link. So they're abiding by the file system hierarchy standard by creating a link. So when I look at this Red Hat book, they're saying the user directory. They don't even bring up the bin directory because bin is under user to them. So if you go by the standard file system hierarchy, they talk about bin, sbin, and things like this, the lib directory, the lib64 directory, because they've integrated that all under user. And I'm not going to go what the user directory was for in the past. I think for the purpose of this boot camp, you don't really need to know that, but that used to be a remote mounted file system where the bin directory was local. So you got a user bin that could be mounted from another server where the bin was local. Those days are long gone, and most people don't even remember them. So just be aware that there are missing some directories here. And we're going to do the quiz and then take a 1 hour break.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to mute. You guys are going to talk.
XC. I'm going to wait for Jorge 2 minutes and then I'm answering.
That's gonna be the slash.
Slash home. Slash
var.
EMP.
Oh, my bad, Tim. Oh my God, I said the wrong one.
So I read the question twice.
Slash var. Slash root. Oh, yeah, that's it. Slash user slash bin. Bottom.
Check.
Okay, but now listen, if you were doing like a Linux Plus test, that wouldn't be the right answer. It would be bin. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, because of the link, right?
Right. This is the Red Hat way of doing it.
Yeah.
Run. Slash run. Slash what is it?
Slash library slash lib.
USR.
It's less user.
Yeah.
Everything's under the user directory, isn't that correct? No.
Yeah.
Only
yeah.
in the Red Hat.
Oh well.
See, if this was a Red Hat, this would be bin for the programs, lib for the libraries.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. Just be aware. Okay, guys, let's take a 1 hour break. I know some of you don't see the purpose of it, but if we didn't do this at 2 o'clock, you'd be burnt out. 1 o'clock, you'd be burnt out. So let's take a 1 hour break. We'll come back, do it for 2 more hours. I'm going to pause the video, and then I'll please remind me to start the video back up.
Okay.
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 I'll mute
All
your
right.
mic, and I will see you in 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so guys, we're on chapter 3 still, and relative paths I talked about. Guys, you're gonna have a hard time if you can't navigate a folder structure. Incidentally,
You're recording, right?
I am.
Okay.
It's going to be the same in a Windows box. If you do a dir, it has the same current directory, parent directory. The way you navigate on a Windows box is just like a Linux box. Now, the touch command. So I'm going to go into my home directory. If I type cd alone, it brings me to my home directory. If I type cd tilde, it brings me to my home directory. So whatever my home directory is, it brings me to that directory. If I do a cat etc password, I'm going to grep for root my account. That's my home directory. The next to the last column in etc. So for cat etc password, I'm going to grep for student. That's the student's home directory. Guys, I could have done this. Grep student etc password and got the same result instead of using the pipe. So that's how I get to my home directory. If I do a list, I can touch new file.txt and do a list long. I can see it created a blank file, but that's not what touch is really used for. The touch command is used to update this access time. If the file doesn't exist, I'm going to remove that directory. If the file doesn't exist, it creates it, then updates the access time. I'm going to pull up the help for touch to look up how to use it. I could put a timestamp on it if I wanted. So I'm going to touch new file.txt, and I can do 1918 November 12th. What am I doing wrong? I'll have to put the hour at 13:54, which is 1:54 p.m. I'm going to do a list long. And so this file was last accessed November 12th, the year 1918. So I'm using stamp, the century of the year, the month, two-digit day, two-digit hour, using military time, and two-digit minute. So that's really what the touch is for. Most people don't use the touch command for that purpose. They just use it to create a blank file. They're doing a bunch of list commands here that we've already talked about. I'm going to type alias. There is, instead of doing list long, I can just do LL. List that we normally run is actually list with color. So that's the same thing if you want to do that. If you want to do a list recursive of the home directory, it will show you all the subdirectories as well. I tend not to use this command. I think it's too difficult to read. I think the tree command is a lot better. I think it's really underused quite a bit. I think that it's getting laggy. Is everyone pretty comfortable with how to navigate? Do I need to go over that more?
I'm pretty comfortable with navigation.
Okay, we'll do this and then move on to the next section.
Just CD.
No. It's the blue. No, you have to go back. Yeah, back. No, do this back over and the green back. Green back. There. PWD. CD dash.
Okay.
Oh, it's the dot dot.
Yeah, the first one.
Dot dot brings you back, right?
No, look. So
No.
I'm in var, and I was in my home directory. So let me go into Etsy. Now, if I do cd dot dot, where would that take me?
To the home directory of it.
No, to bar.
That will take. Uh, let me pull up both. Okay. I can't make it snap. So cd dot dot will take me up to root.
Yeah, to the root. Yeah.
But the question is, how do I get back to var?
CD dash.
So we know it's not this. We know it's not cd tilde. That will take me to my home directory. So that will take me to previous. CD dash. It's. I think it's a tricky question, and honestly, a lot of people don't use
That one. Yeah.
The first one, CD dot dot slash dot dot. ls-al. cd/bin.
In this particular case, it's not telling you where you are. So there's no way you can ever use a relative path.
Mm-hmm.
cd, the tilde. Wait, oh no, parent. Okay, I see that. cd ... Thought I meant your home directory. I don't know why. The second one, ... / temp.
Which is the example that I gave earlier.
Yeah.
Exactly that same example. Okay, so we're going to play around with making dirs. So I'm going to go to my home directory, make dir1. Simple, easy to do. Now, what if I wanted to make dir2 inside of dir3? I want to do this. Would this work?
No,
Why not?
because dir3 doesn't exist, but you can accomplish that with -p.
Right, make any missing parent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so list, no, tree. So it made dir2 and the parent directory. What else does dir, the -p make? What else function does it serve? If I do this, if I can type, what's going to happen right now?
It's gonna create it even though it already exists.
It gives me
dir3, right?
it gives me an error
Hold on, why?
because it already exists.
Oh, okay.
So the return code was 1.
Yeah.
So if you use the -p, even if the directory exists,
It's okay.
it always returns 0. So if you're writing a script or something and you want to create a directory and you're not sure if it works, then just use the dash. If it already exists and you don't want to error out, because this, if you were an end user and you got this message, you might think something was wrong. Will, 1 second. I like the tree, the color help also. I'm okay with that. Okay. I just saw Will's message. So if you're writing a script or something and you don't want errors, just use the -p. Again, you can do multiple arguments with the with the make dir. Dir 4 dir 5 dir.
Correct. Didn't we make those? Oh, never mind.
We did as student, but I'm signed in as root right now.
Oh.
If you get an error, no big deal.
Okay.
If it's already there and you get an error, just be aware. Okay. What if I wanted to make a directory called, I want to make this directory. What do I need to do?
Make dir 7. Type 7. Oh, dir 7. Oh, you can also use double quote.
Okay, let me get rid of the A. Okay, there's Dear 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the difference between um, let me think about this. Echo. Okay, if I did this, what's the difference between Yvette recommended doing this with double quotes, which will work.
It won't put a single quote. Oh, it does?
Yeah, that's just
That's new.
that quote doesn't really exist. It's just showing you that, if I do a
Ah,
list,
okay.
okay, it's fine. But what's the difference? What if I did this? Let me pick a new name.
It's going to create two directories, a dir and an 8, or a dir and a 9.
Okay. No, what's the difference between a single quote and a double quote?
Oh my God, I know that, but I forget.
Okay, let's do
One
this.
executes and the other one just do output and the one of them executes something, right?
Okay, so I'm going to do make dir double quote $user.
I guess it doesn't depend
Oh,
on the
yeah,
command.
That support will execute. I think it's called command extension or execution, something like that.
Expansion.
That one, yeah, expansion.
Okay, so list. I'm going to list this. So this created a directory called root test.
Mm-hmm.
It basically replaced this. It resolved that to a variable, that variable to its data in a single quote. So it resolved it and expanded it to be root. If I did that same thing with a single quote,
Oh, you forgot that single quote at the end.
and do a list, now it actually created,
Yeah.
it's absolute. Whatever you put in a single quote, there's no um, command expansion. With a double quote, it expands it. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's called shell expansion. Shell expansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
So there is a difference. Incidentally, that same thing works in Windows. Okay, so make dir test. I showed you this already. One, one, two. So it'll create three directories with a 1 and a 2 and a 3 in it. These could be numbers. They just have to be separated by a colon, a comma. Okay, so I have dir1. I'm going to touch test file 1 txt, test file 2 txt, and test file 3 txt. So it created three files, three blank files. right there. So again, touch can take multiple arguments. So what if I did copy test file 1? Again, I'm not typing. I hit the tab key, hit 1, then tab key again. dir 3. So it copies test file 1 into dir 3. So what if I do copy test file 1, test file 2, test file 3, and dir 1. That's going again. So copy can take multiple arguments. I'm going to copy these 3 files into this directory. So if you use multiple arguments, multiple options, the last option has to be a directory.
I think both of them are argument, no? The option would be minus R minus something.
You might be right. You might be right. Okay. I can also back up a file. Test file 1 to test file 4. So that just basically creates another file, copies the file. What if I wanted to copy Etsy password to my current directory? What would the command be? The shortest possible way.
You can do copy exit files, exit password to space dot.
My current directory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this would have worked as well.
Yeah.
Out of habit, I always do this, but it's not necessary. What if I wanted to copy dir 3 to dir 7? Now tell me what gets copied here.
You already.
It won't allow you. It won't allow you to.
You have to use that recursive.
Doesn't it just create a directory 7 and like an empty directory 7 inside of dir 3?
No, it won't work because it's a directory. Go ahead, Yvette.
Because dir 7 doesn't exist.
Okay.
No, it's not doing that because it's seeing that your first argument is a directory. So if you're going to copy a directory, it's saying you have to use
the minus R.
The recursive.
Yeah. Oh, you have dir 7 already? Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, it just copied it. dir 7, dir 3.
Oh.
So if I do a tree, look at dir 7.
No, I know. I was confused with move.
Yeah.
Because for move, dir 7 has to exist. Yeah.
No, that's just renaming.
Yeah,
that will work. Okay, so which doesn't use the -r. So basically, if your first argument is a directory, you need to use the -r. The nice thing about the copy command is it's been around for a long time, and if some commands use lowercase r or uppercase r, this uses both.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use lowercase r or uppercase r to do the copy. So again, if the first argument is a directory, you have to use the -r, upper or lowercase.
Okay. Even if the directory you are copying is empty.
Okay, so let's test that. So mk make dir 8. Copy. Sorry, I'm getting a lag. Dir 8 to dir 9.
Mm,
If the first
wow.
if the first argument is a directory, you have to use the -r. It won't copy a directory without R because we see it as empty. Because what's in dir 8?
Nothing, just like a dot file and a
Right,
dot file.
right. So it's not
Mhm.
empty.
Okay.
Mm.
So as we see it's empty.
It's not really empty.
Sorry. Yeah, the system
Ele-
the system doesn't see it as empty.
yeah.
Okay, so um, I have a file. I'm going to stop here for a minute. Am I going too fast? Mark, Michelle, Sinead. Uh,
No, I'm with you.
okay,
No, you're good.
okay. Will, you're a fast typer. I'm not worried about you. I don't remember how fast Shanetta and Michelle and Mark type. Okay, so yeah, yeah. You were going crazy last night, Eric. You were going crazy. I didn't know why you're complicating it so much.
Well, yeah, I was stuck for a while.
Yeah, what should have taken, I don't know, at most 15 minutes, I just didn't understand why you were so jammed.
It was difficult.
I don't think you read the chapter or watched the video.
I watched that video like 5 times, the Lab 8 video.
Yeah.
I watched it
No,
over and over.
Lab 7.
Oh, Lab 7. I
Because
read it, but
what the Lab 7 video was where I talked about roles. That was the problem then. Okay, so where are we at? Move, the move command. So guys, I have a test file 1. I'm going to move So essentially, guys, if you're moving a file to the same directory, you're essentially renaming it. That's all you're really doing. I can move a directory I already had a dir3 there, so I'm just going to override it. I don't need the recursive switch. It automatically knows it's a directory and it's going to be recursive. I could I can move a file to different directories. That's not very difficult. I can move test to dir4. I can move, let's do a list. I can move test file 3, test file 4, test file 5 to dir7. So again, I can do multiple arguments. The last argument has to be the directory, just like the copy command. So all those files are now inside the 7. They're no longer in my current directory. Okay. We're going to talk about the remove command. But before I do, I want to do something else. I'm going to type alias. The default move command and the default remove command is non-interactive, meaning you type a move or you type a remove, it doesn't prompt you. It just does it. So I'm going to touch a file and then I'm going to remove it. It prompts me. I'm going to touch a file again. And I'm going to remove -force to override this -I. That I means interactive, meaning to prompt them before deleting. Because this is not like Windows where things go to the trash can. If you delete it, it's gone. Oh, wait, I read somewhere that they added trash can ability in remove. I don't know if this has it. Yeah, I heard that someone updated this thing so when you delete something, you can automatically have it go to your trash can. Okay, so just keep in mind that the interactive has been added there. So now I'm going to remove a directory. rm dir dir7. It will not allow you to remove a directory that's not empty. rm dir 6. That directory was empty, so it removed it no problem. So if you want to remove a directory and all its contents, you can do with remove command recursive force dir7. And that will delete the directory and all its content. I'm going to do a tree again. So I'm going to copy recursively dir1 to dir7 to recreate dir7. I could do a remove recursive interactive dir7. I don't know why you would want to do this unless you have a lot of time to spare and you're getting paid a lot of money per hour, but yes, yes, yes. And make it interactive for every file. Okay. Now I'm not going to do the exercise from manage from a command line. You can do that on your own for chapter 3, lesson 6. So you can work through that. Remember, to do that you need to deactivate the lab, deactivate the thing, then reactivate it, and then you'll be back to a clean system. Okay. Is everyone with me? Anyone have any questions?
I'm good.
No.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Okay.
Good.
What does this number mean? Don't worry about a directory. It means if this is a
Link. Yeah.
if this is a file, there's only one copy to it, one link to that file. This first character, if it's a dash, it's a file. If it's a D, it's a directory. It's really easy to see now because we have color code turned on. But if you didn't have this color code turned on, you wouldn't know the difference between a file and a directory. You wouldn't know if this was a file called .local or a directory. This is telling you. So when you look at a file and you see a number 1 there, that means there's one copy of the file. So I'm going to create a file called original. And I do a list, original. Sorry, I'm going to put it out like that. There's one copy of this file. So I'm going to do a link original to, I'm just going to call it link file. List long. So I have this file called original. How many copies of the file, how many pointers there are to that file?
2.
2. So I'm going to echo something into original. I'm going to cat linked. So I see something now in original. As long as either this or this exists, then the files still exist. So if is this a link?
It's a hard link.
It's a hard link. So it's not really a link at all. I have a chunk of data, and this points to that chunk of data. This also points to that chunk of data. That chunk of data is something. So as long as this pointer or this pointer still exists, then this chunk of data is accessible. So I'm going to remove original. And cat something. It still exists. That's a hard link. So basically, this is a pointer to a chunk of data. So when you did that ln, you're saying point to the same data as original. So they're both pointers, they're directory entries to that chunk of data called something. Now I'm going to remove linked, and I'm going to bang echo again. So that basically created the file called original again. Cat original, it has something in it. Now I'm going to do something called a soft link. Wait for the lag. Original. Now I'm going to do a list. Long. Look at the permissions on this file. It's not a file now, it's a link. So basically, this pointer points to this pointer, and this pointer points to something. So this is a pointer that points to this. Now, if I delete this file, this points to nothing then. What's the downside? Why do you want to have a hard link? What's the advantage of a hard link over a soft link? Does anyone remember?
Hard link points to the actual data in the disk, I think.
Correct.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you can change the permissions on a hard link, can you?
Correct.
So you wouldn't be able to just like let anyone view the original data.
But even so, if you can access either file, you can still write. So if I had a hard link and I had one user had permission to under one hard link, and then for the original, I had another user have permission. If you change the link in a hard link, it'll change the original as well. So you could have that conflicting thing where you had a hard link where one user had permissions and and then the original pointer had a different permissions, and both users would be able to write to the file. I never thought about that before, but it can. A hard link uses up an extra inode. I'm not going to go into
Yeah.
some long discussion about inodes, but you only have so many inodes available. But either one points to the original chunk of data.
Also for hard link, you can
Partitions.
you can just do it to regular files. You cannot do it to groups, or you cannot do it to a different file system partition.
Right. Hard links won't go across the file system. So basically, if I had two two partitions, I can't create a hard link on one pointing to a chunk of data on another hard disk. The data that I point to has to be on the same hard disk.
Mm-hmm. Same partition. Yeah.
Where you don't have that limitation with a
Symbolic link.
a symbolic link or a soft link, you can point it across a partition. So I can put a soft link on one partition pointing to the pointer of a file on another partition, and that not be a problem. And you have less overhead as far as your
inode.
Your inodes. But again, if your original file gets deleted, that soft link did nothing for you then.
It becomes a zombie, right?
Yeah, like right now, a zombie is blinking.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remove original. See, it's pointing to, wait, I don't know what I'm pointing to. It doesn't exist. So I'm just going to get rid of that link.
Brian, you know, when I was going through this, I had one question about hard links. You know how they, you know, pretty much you can compare two files that are hard linked because of the inode. They're gonna have an identical inode. But what if you don't know where the hard link for one file is? In this case, you know, we know it was in the same directory, right?
Right.
But then you can create it, you know, under the same partition, you know, under the same file system, because it's under the same partition, right? So you can do it in home, and from your home directory, you can do it to temp or to bar, whatever. So when you don't know the location for the other hard link, how do you list all of them to know, you know, what files are hard linked to another? Do you know a way for that?
No, other
Okay.
than this.
The number, I know, but yeah, I know that
check.
that file has 2 copies, but then I don't know the location for the other file. Oh, there. Okay, so you have to do a find. Same file. Okay.
Okay, so
Cool.
Find. I'm going to do in my current directory. One second, maybe I need to do this.
Yeah, I think you have to do it from the whole. Yeah, that's it. Oh, okay.
No.
I think it doesn't like the. It has to be just the root. See the same file. Cool.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because you pointing to your current directory. I think it's just the root, the actual root.
Okay, let's do this. Find in the current directory, same
Same file.
file.
And the name of the file, original. Okay. Oh, cool.
And I guess
Okay.
it's just looking for files with identical.
With the same inode,
Yeah.
probably. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Because symbolic links, they're easier to point because of the the pointing that they have. They have the little pointer to the actual file, so with the L and the pointing file, so there are symbolic links and what's the other file.
Yeah, we had a professor at one point that was harassed me for an entire semester over me asking what's the purpose of a hard link in today's computers.
Yeah.
You're not
I
going.
know. I never used, and remember when I was at BC, I always went with symbolic link. I never used the hard link.
I understand, but if you want two copies, like a backup or something,
Mm-hmm.
then you could have. If you have a user that deletes files all the time, like
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to make sure that someone didn't delete a file, you could create a hard link in
Oh.
and at that point, it was Kevin Carey, he was just trying to be
Yeah.
difficult, but you try to find justifications, but guys, you
Yeah.
probably won't see hard links then. By default, right now, when you install the OS, there are zero hard links. I've looked at them through it.
Okay.
Okay, but I never asked myself that question before. How do you find other links?
Yeah. Cool.
Um, okay, so we're going to look at matching patterns. This is a fun chapter. Um, let me go back to this. For I in I'm trying to think of what we can do. 1 to 30. Now let's make it 1 to 100. Just so we have multiple. Guys, that's a backtick. Do touch a file $i.txt. Done. That just made 100 blank files.
Wow.
The goal of being a Linux admin is to be as lazy as possible. So listen, I want to list all files that has any number of characters between this E and this dot. So that will do 100, 1, 2, it doesn't matter. I want to list everything with file in it. I don't care what it begins with. I don't care what it ends with, a TXT, an MPG, whatever. I want to list all files that have a 1 or 2 dot txt. Why didn't it list 100, 10, 11, 12, 13?
My guess is because it takes each digit that you entered in there as
One
that's it.
one
Yeah.
character. So what if I did this? I want 2 characters, with the first one being a 1 or a 2, and the next one, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or what if I only wanted, I'm getting a lag, guys, 2 characters, I don't care what. I want to list where I want this 6th character to be a 1 or a 2, and the 7th character to be a 4 or a 5 or a 6. So this will list 15 and 16, 25 and 26. Okay, what will this do? List a file, a 1 or a 2, so what will be listed here?
Any character that has
Anything,
one
any file,
yeah.
anything with a file 1
and
and
2
a file 2.
with that txt.
Yeah.
But any number of characters. When I
Yeah.
did the question mark, it was only 1 character. This could be 1 character between that 1 or 2 and the dot, or 10
Yeah.
characters. It doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. List tilde slash a. I don't know how to demonstrate this, but you can do tilde the book doesn't make sense here. Does anyone understand what this is?
What?
I'm trying to understand what this is trying to.
ls
I am on 9, lesson 9. Tilde expansion.
show me. I don't have that book open. It says
I think it's A is do not ignore entries starting with, and F is do not sort. That's what I'm reading on explain shell. I don't know.
What this? The tilde?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tilde
Oh wait.
character.
matches
no.
the current user home directory if it start a string of character other than slash.
Okay.
But that doesn't make sense because
I
root
understand.
has a slash.
So listen, tilde A would be all files, correct?
No.
No. Let me see. R. 1 second. Let's do this. Tilde student. Oh, I guess what they're saying is a username.
Yeah, everything for your username on the, I think under your current directory.
No, because look,
No?
I did this, the home directory of student,
Okay.
the home directory of root.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so you can list other people files with that. Okay.
And of course, you have to be
Cool.
root for it to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in this chapter. The problem is remembering it. You know. Okay, so guys,
Do you think this thing will be on the test? Because it's, yeah, it's a lot, these things is school based, a lot of remembering.
Well, I understand, but hopefully it helps you save time.
Yeah.
You know, if they want you
It's
to
all practical, so it's however you can complete the task, right? Whatever tools they have you use.
right, you know, so if they want you to create 30 directories, do you want to do that by hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what if they wanted you to create a file with for every day of the week? This is the example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've already showed you this before. I'm only going to do 3 days. Okay, or you could use the make directory or something, or touch. I can do this.
Would that show a log from the previous week, or
No, all that's doing is displaying 3 items on the screen: Sunday.log, Monday.log, Tuesday.log. All it could have been. I could have done this. You know, it doesn't really matter what. I'm not displaying a log file. I'm just echoing it to the screen. Okay.
Okay.
I could create 3 files.
If you put cat, it won't work because those files don't exist.
Now they do.
They do? Yeah, now they do, yeah.
So
no, but before when he was asking.
Yeah. Okay, there's nothing in them, of course. So that makes
echo into all of them.
Well, no, if I wanted to echo into all of them, I would loop through them. For I in list asterisk.log, that's all my files, right? All my files that end in log. So I'm going to execute that first. It's going to show up as a Sunday.log, Monday.log, and then Tuesday.log. Do echo something into $I. Done. So the first time through the loop, it's going to be Sunday.log. Second time through the loop, it'll be Monday.log, then Tuesday.log. So there, it shows you the contents of all 3 log files.
Brian, can you let Ray in?
Oh, yeah, I just got his text. Did I confuse people with this or no? With this part here?
That's kind of
No.
confusing, but
Okay,
I
okay.
get what it's doing.
Now look,
Yeah.
it's going to be a double execution. So what is it? If I run this command, what is it going to print out?
Everything that ends with, everything that has that log, every file that has that log.
Right. So it's going to take these 3 files and replace it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So in a for loop,
Yeah.
for I in, these are elements of the loop. So I'm going to replace that with these three elements. So I could have just typed in Bob, Sally, Jim. Do echo $I. Done. So it's just going to echo the elements of my loop. First time through the loop, I will be Bob. Second time through the loop, I will be Sally. Third time through the loop, I will be Jim. So in this particular case, it's going to execute this first. So the first element in my loop would be Monday.log. Second time through the loop, $I will be Sunday.log. Third time through the loop, $I will be Tuesday.log. So it's going to echo something into Monday.log. Next time through the loop, it'll echo something into Sunday.log. Third time through the loop, Tuesday.log. Did that clear it up? Did that help make it worse? What?
Yeah, I have a better understanding now. I'd have to go through it more though.
Okay, so in this particular case, I hard coded exactly what I wanted to create. A file called Sunday.log, Monday.log. So what if I touched file 1 through 20?
It's gonna create those files, right? From 1 through 20.
It's arranged. Now
Yeah.
instead of just being individual items, again, that's a squiggly brackets. But
Mm-hmm.
not only that, touch
It's gonna create, yeah.
file A through B through M. Not only will it do it numerically, it'll do it alphabetically as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Q, a lowercase q through M. You can't mix the
No
cases.
closing. Yeah.
You can't mix the cases up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it could be uppercase or lowercase, but not both. And that created no problem. So the A through M, it's A through Z, lowercase, A through Z, uppercase. Okay, what will this do? I'm just going to use the echo command so I don't create so many files. File A comma B 1 comma 2. What will this produce?
It's gonna create a file A1, file A2, file B1, file B2. Echo, I'm sorry. Yeah, A1, A2, B1, B2.
Okay, so you can also nest them.
Mm-hmm.
So how many files will this produce?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 files. It's going to
Yeah.
it's going to
gonna do
Yeah, for
A1,
files.
A2, then B, and then C.
Okay. Yes. So you can nest them in together as well. Okay. I'm going to set a variable. Guys, variables generally are uppercase in Bash. It's not a requirement, but generally in environmental variables uppercase. So sum bar equals Brian.
The
Echo.
Brian, the book says that the predefined are all capitals, and if you creating your own, you should do it with lower. That's
Oh,
what the book advises.
oh, where does
So
that?
you can differentiate between the predefined and your own.
Okay. Predefined by whom?
Oh, Red Hat. When you echo, but when you list your variables, you're gonna have a list of predefined, variables, right? Created by Red Hat, like home, path,
Yeah. So it's the global,
user.
you know,
Huh?
it's the global they.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. So, guys, if I do set, it shows me um, set no longer does it because they have all the scripts. I wonder
Yeah,
how we can echo. Oh, env. Let's try env.
yeah.
Env.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So see, those are predefined by Red Hat, right? So shell, mail, terminal, all that. So language and all that.
And the book does this.
So the book says, yeah, they say that, these are predefined. So when creating variables, we should do lowercase so you can tell apart which, are yours variables and which one are, I guess, Red Hat
Right. In their
predefined.
example, they don't go by that.
Yeah.
You know, right here. Honestly, the way I look at it is if the variable is going to be persistent, meaning you're going to set it in your bash file, so it's there every single time, make it uppercase. If you're doing a ad hoc variable just for a short time,
Mm-hmm.
you can make it lowercase.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, I just want to shortly tell you what that is. List-al. So um, I have these files, bashrc underscore profile. Right here is variables. That's where variables I can set for my user account. If I set them there, I'm going to make them uppercase. That's how I feel about it. If they're persistent, make it uppercase, ad hoc, temporarily, lowercase. I got a cough. 1 second. Okay, so I set a variable called sumbar equals Brian. I can echo $,
Somebody.
sumvar. In a script, you probably should enclose it in quote marks. Or I could do like that. Same difference with double quotes. What's the difference between why won't this work? Here, it's just a variable. Here should be a command that needs to be executed.
Mm.
So I'm going to do IP address, IP route. Here's my route. So I'm going to do, I don't have a default. Let me do IP adder. So here's my IP address. I can't remember the command. Does anyone remember the command?
Of what?
Just to show one nick.
Yeah, just show
Oh,
and
okay.
then
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is getting too complicated. No, I'm just going to confuse people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll explain in a second.
Aren't you just grepping or trying to just to collect the information, just
Right.
like one?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So now I'm going to run that command again. So don't worry about the command. So I'm just going to close it in this. Okay. And so basically it's going to execute that and essentially present it as a variable that I can use elsewhere, like in the echo command, or I could assign it to,
So how will you call it when you?
okay,
Because you know you have a name and then you call it with a $sign and the name of the variable. So in this case, how you will call it in a script? Oh, okay. So you had to give it a name. Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking.
so you can
Oh.
go run a command and present that output of the command as a variable.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of using backtick in your script,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're in this environment where you're dealing with a whole bunch of quote marks and stuff, where you don't want to use backticks, enclose it in a round bracket and $sign and present it as a variable, and it'll execute that first.
Does that my IP variable, does that save permanently? Like you can always do echo my IP to get the IP?
Not unless I enter it in my -- profile and I export it. I would have to do that as well. Um, I could do things like, you know, I could have a script. Every time they run the script, I'm going to create a
Yeah.
script. I'm going to use the books example. I'm going to vi my script .sh. This is telling the script to run in bash. It's a bash script. So hi.
Just a quick question along with that. Could you technically edit the bash RC file to save it directly there?
Yes. I'll show you that. Okay, so here's my script and change mod plus execution. So everyone can execute it. So I'm going to execute this script. What am I? Oh, I have a
The
quote in
quote.
there.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, like, it doesn't like that. Yeah. But it would like it if you put double quote in the echo, I think.
Yes, but that's 2 characters. I'm lazy. I'll just escape
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So
Cool.
in your script, you can have it run a command, then substitute that value instead of having to do a double tick. So to answer your question, I can do vi.bash underscore profile. Let me copy this. This is kind of going along with what Eric wanted too. So if I want to, so I'm going to set the variable and then export it. Guys, and just to re-execute my bash without having to log out, if I put a dot space, I know we're not using enough dots in this OS, but dot alone means execute. So that re-executed my, um, I don't know how if you would know this is really working, but it is. You got to take my word for it.
Um,
Here, let me
Show me what you did in bash underscore profile. Sorry.
look, list long dot bash. Hey, Chris, are we good? How are you doing? Is this kind of
I'm
boring?
good.
Is this kind of boring you? I don't know.
No, it's a good refresher. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
paying attention.
Um, Yvette, is the execution bit turned on here?
No.
So how do I re-execute this? Normally this script is run when I log in.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to execute it, but the execution bit isn't turned on. So if you want to run a script that doesn't have the execution bit turned on, like I did here,
Mm-hmm.
do dot space in the script
And then
name.
okay, cool. And did you do any changes to bash profile file?
I was
Oh, okay. You added
commenting what
okay,
Michelle said.
and the export. Okay, the variable and the export. Okay, cool.
Michelle, I had Michelle in my Linux class, and I
think you're muted, Brian.
I had Michelle in my Linux class, and um, she is actually a pretty decent Windows admin because her network admin that she works with actually was really nice and actually trained her to be a pretty good Windows network admin. Um, so I remember that about you, Michelle, from my class.
Yes, yeah, he was a big Linux guy.
She worked for a Linux guy, but he also taught her to be a Windows admin as well. So that's a pretty good leg up in the industry. Okay, so Eric, does that answer your question as well? You have to put it in here,
Yeah.
and you have to export it.
Also, if you add another line underneath my IP, then you have to export that after my IP, right? You're gonna export path, my IP, and the other variable.
If you don't export it, what's going to happen is it'll only be set in the first shell.
Yeah.
You want to set in all shells that you open up. Regardless
Mm-hmm.
how many terminals you open, you want it to be there.
Yeah.
Um,
No, but I'm saying if you have a third variable under my IP, then you will have to export you will have to export all three, right?
correct. I could do
Okay.
3 different export lines, or I could do
Mm-hmm.
export in 3 variables.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Give me 1 second. I want to take a drink without you listening to me. So how can I prevent shell expansion?
With a single quote?
Echo my var. What did I call it? My IP. Or you can do, what was the other one I used? Some var. Oh, it's not going to work for me because I exited out and went back in. Okay, so I have some var set. When you set it, no $sign. When you use it, put the $sign.
Mm-hmm.
So echo, like Yvette said, but Yvette is not lazy enough. She's not old enough to be lazy. That's 2 characters. Normally, $sign is treated as the beginning of a variable. So I'm going to escape it and say, don't interpret that as you normally would. It's just a printable character.
You love the escape tag there, don't you?
Anything I can do to make my life easy, I'm going to do. So again, double quotes. I'm just going through the book.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what the difference. Oh, okay, guys. If you look, they're talking about in the book single quotes and double quotes. Single
Mm-hmm.
quotes doesn't resolve variables to their value. Double quotes will. Okay, this is you. I'm vaping. Can you see my?
The first one.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll get to it later. But
Okay.
We didn't talk about carrots. Maybe it's in a different chapter. Carrots and dollar symbols, $sign symbols. But we'll get to it later.
Okay.
The second one, be asterisk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The third one. Oh, you did.
Did
Yeah, you didn't take it.
no. Was this covered? Did we not cover this?
I don't.
I don't remember you
I
covered.
don't remember seeing
No.
that.
You
Yeah.
covered it before, but not today, I think. I remember
Yeah.
from the beginning of this class.
So, I'm here, and I'm going to touch B file 1. So I want to list not if I can type B 1 through 10. So this will list what? Looking at my list.
From 20 to 100.
This will list A file 1,
Mm-hmm.
A file 2, A
Through
file,
10.
and then, but not anything with B.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could say, this will list all the B files. Guys, the whole point of this kind of stuff is to filter out data.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking in a file with hundreds of files in a directory with hundreds of files in it, it's too much overload. You need to filter out things you don't want to see. So that bang symbol in this particular case means not.
So don't show the letter A is what it's saying?
Exactly.
No.
If a file begins with A, I don't want to see those files. If it's the first character is an A with the FILE with a 1, 2, 3, 4 through 10 .txt, show me those files. If the file is B file 21, it's not going to show that. So here I'm limiting only to be a 1 through a 10. Here I'm saying any character but an A. 1 second. I don't remember seeing this in the book. Does this work?
What is that, Brian?
I'm trying to do OR.
No, what chapter are you covering right now? 5? Oh, 3. Oh, we're still on 3. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to do the OR. Okay. That sounds like a homework assignment. Okay, so guys, back to this.
Wouldn't it be the double, the second one? Yeah.
Someone mute their mic.
Oh,
The third one?
Yes.
Ooh, it's sticking. Wouldn't it be the second one, the double brackets? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sweating now.
At least you got there. That will be the third one, right?
it would be the second one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the second one I meant. Yeah.
With
At least 3 characters.
But
the first,
I would say the second one. No.
the first one, because it's at least 3, so you can have more than 3.
yeah.
Oh. Sweet.
Okay, guys, we're moving at a nice clip, not as fast as I would like. Do you want to just continue with the next chapter? Or do you want to start chapter 4 next week?
It doesn't really, I mean, how long is the next chapter? It doesn't matter.
Well, the next, actually, I'm
But
not,
you're trying to cover the whole book, right?
we're going to cover the whole book, but I
So
don't
yeah,
know.
that means we're gonna have to, probably in 3 Saturdays, right? Because today we covered 3.
Well,
There's 17 chapters.
not really, because here's what I'm hoping you guys can do. Like chapter 4, I'm not really going to cover at all.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's boring. It's about man pages and info and it's a long
right.
matrix.
So you control this. Now I'm going to show you how to use VI to edit a file, but I'm not going to go through the whole VI lesson. I'm just going to show you the most common ones. So that's only going to take a few minutes. Create user accounts is a little bit of time. Permissions are a little bit of time. I'm not going to go deep into 8. 9 shouldn't be really difficult.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not going to be that difficult. Like installing stuff is simple.
Yeah.
Accessing a Linux file system, how to use the mount command, not that difficult.
Yeah.
16 and 17 I'm not going to do. So guys, you're going to be responsible for 4, 8,
4,
probably
8.
11.
Analyzing and starting. Oh yeah, that's gonna be boring.
Okay, and the goal is, guys, I was at a Red Hat meeting with a guy who designed the curriculum, designed the test, and he said that they, no matter what they do, they can't get higher than a 60% pass rate. And I just wanted to sit up in that meeting and I said, well, it's your curriculum.
Yeah.
Because they have, you know, it's not free range. I think they need to open up their curriculum and let people make more mistakes, get rid of all these scripts that they're doing. But in any case, I want a higher than a 60% pass rating from you guys. You know, so the only way you're going to do that is read the book, get your hands on the keyboard. Okay, so let's end now. We'll do VI next time we meet and go from there.
Okay.
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 We're not going to have any guest speakers. Your images will already be there. If you want to practice, you can sign in anytime you want. Deactivate your lab, reactivate it, and you'll be back to a clean slate. And this
So
is a pretty
do
good
this
format.
for the next 2 Saturdays, right?
We'll see. Maybe 2 Saturdays, maybe 1. We'll see how quickly we get through the next time.
Okay.
You know,
by 2 Saturdays, the next classes will have started, right?
Right.
And so,
but listen, if we get through, if we see we're at chapter 10 when we are here right before the break, maybe we'll just forego the break next Saturday. We'll see.
Okay.
You know, you sound very depressed, like or cutting you off from your Wheaties. We'll see how we'll play it by ear. Okay. Whatever we need to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, guys, I have a lot of grading to do. I have to get grades submitted by Monday. So we're going to cut this off now.
Okay. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Take it easy,
bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Okay, take it easy.
Thank you, Yvette.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.